Robert was 68 years old when his morning routine almost ended his life. For 30 years, he began every single day the exact same way: 3 scrambled eggs with toast. He thought he was doing everything correctly. He was active, took his medicine, and believed eggs were the perfect protein source for staying strong in his later years. But one morning, everything changed. Robert suddenly fell in his kitchen, holding his chest. The ambulance rushed him to the hospital, where doctors found his cholesterol levels were extremely high and his major blood vessels were seriously blocked. When they asked about his food, the truth came out. Those daily eggs, mixed with several big errors Robert didn't even know he was making, had been quietly harming his heart and blood system for decades. Today, I'm going to show you the 10 egg mistakes that older people make every single day. Mistakes that could be putting your health at serious risk. We've listed these from worrying to possibly life-threatening. And here's what truly shocked me during my study. Mistake number 4 has been scientifically proven to more than double your risk of heart disease. Number 7 involves harmful germs that send thousands of seniors to the hospital each year. And the mistake at number 1, it's so normal that you might be making it right now without even knowing it. But here is the main point. You don't have to stop eating eggs completely. In fact, when made and eaten the right way, eggs can still be part of a healthy diet for older people. The trouble is not the eggs themselves. It's how we are handling them, cooking them, and making them a part of our daily food plan. By the end of this video, you will know precisely which mistakes to avoid, how to fix them, and most importantly, how to keep yourself and your family safe from the hidden dangers inside something as basic as a breakfast egg. So stay with me until the very end, because I'm going to share a simple checklist that could truly save your life. Let's start. Mistake number 10, washing eggs before putting them away. Let's begin with mistake number 10, and this one surprises most people. Many older people wash their eggs right after bringing them home from the store, thinking they are being extra careful about keeping things clean. But here is what most people don't know. Eggs have a natural protective layer called the bloom or cuticle that seals the shell and stops germs from getting in. When you wash eggs before storing them, you remove this natural protection. Once that layer is gone, germs like salmonella can move through the tiny holes in the eggshell and contaminate the egg inside.
This is especially risky for older people because our body's defense system naturally gets weaker with age, making us more likely to get sick from food. In the United States, store-bought eggs are already washed and cleaned before they get to the store, which is why they must be kept cold. If you buy eggs from a local farm or market, they might still have that protective layer, the bloom, on them. In that case, you should absolutely not wash them until right before you use them. The fix? Put your eggs away unwashed in their original box in the coldest spot of your refrigerator, not in the door where the temperature changes a lot. Only wash them quickly under cool water right before cracking if they look dirty. Mistake number 9, keeping eggs in the refrigerator door. Talking about where to put them, mistake number 9 is about where you store your eggs in the fridge. That handy egg tray built into your refrigerator door is actually one of the worst places to keep eggs. Here is why this matters for seniors. The door is the warmest part of your refrigerator because it gets room temperature air every time you open it. These changes in temperature can cause water to form on the eggshell, which raises the chance of germ growth and can make the egg spoil faster. Also, the constant shaking and moving from opening and closing the door can cause tiny cracks in the shells that you might not even see easily. These small cracks create ways for bad germs to enter the egg. For the best safety, keep your eggs in their original box on a middle or lower shelf toward the back of the refrigerator where the temperature stays most steady, usually between 33 degrees and 40 degrees Fahrenheit. The box also protects them and stops the eggs from taking on smells from other foods. 8. Eating eggs with liquid yolks. Now we are getting into cooking mistakes, and number 8 causes arguments because many people love their eggs sunny side up or soft-boiled with that smooth, flowing yolk. But for older people, eggs that are not cooked enough cause a big health risk. Raw or undercooked eggs can carry salmonella bacteria, which leads to food poisoning. While anyone can get sick from salmonella, people over 65 are at a much higher risk for very serious sickness. Your defense system is not as strong as it once was. A case of food poisoning that might only cause a few bad days for a younger person could send a senior to the hospital with severe loss of body fluids, fever, and possibly life-ending problems.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, salmonella causes about 1.35 million sicknesses in the United States each year, and older people make up a larger part of the hospital stays and deaths from these infections. The safe way is to cook eggs until both the white and the yolk are firm. The inner temperature should reach 160 degrees Fahrenheit to kill any harmful germs. If you are making foods that have raw eggs, like homemade salad dressing, use pasteurized eggs instead. Mistake number 7, leaving cooked eggs out at room temperature. Mistake number 7 happens more often than you would think, especially during holiday meals or family gatherings. Leaving cooked eggs sitting out at room temperature for more than 2 hours creates a perfect place for germs to grow. This is especially risky for seniors who might have slower digestion. When eggs are left in the danger zone between 40 degrees and 140 degrees, germs can grow quickly, doubling their numbers every 20 minutes. That nice egg dish sitting on the table for 3 hours could be holding millions of germ cells by the time you take a second serving. The signs of food sickness from bad eggs usually include feeling sick, throwing up, stomach pain, and fever. For older people, these signs can quickly lead to dehydration and chemical imbalances in the body, which can be extra dangerous if you are taking certain medicines for heart problems, diabetes, or high blood pressure. The answer is simple, but it needs care. Put cooked eggs and egg dishes in the fridge within 2 hours of cooking, or within 1 hour if the room temperature is above 90 degrees. If you are serving eggs at a meal, use a heating plate or dish to keep hot foods hot, above 140 degrees. Mistake number 6, forgetting expiration dates. Mistake number 6 might seem clear, but you would be surprised how many older people eat eggs long after their expiration date. They think the eggs are still good because they don't smell bad or look strange. This is a chance you should absolutely not take. As we get older, our sense of smell often gets weaker. This means you might not be able to notice the small signs of spoiled food that you could when you were younger. An egg that looks perfectly fine to you could actually be filled with germs that will make you sick. Egg cartons have either a sell-by date or an expiration date printed on them. Generally, eggs stay safe to eat for 3 to 5 weeks after you buy them, if they have been kept cold correctly. However, once that expiration date passes, the risk of germ contamination goes up a lot. Here is a fast safety check. Put the egg in a bowl of water. Fresh eggs will sink and lie flat on their sides. Eggs that stand up on one end at the bottom are still safe to eat, but should be used quickly. If an egg floats to the top, throw it away right away. It is rotten. For older people living alone or those who don't use eggs often, think about buying smaller cartons to make sure you use them before they go bad. Never buy eggs from boxes with cracked shells, and always check the date before buying. Mistake number 5, cooking eggs in too much butter or oil. Now, we are entering the top 5 risks, and mistake number 5 is about how you cook your eggs. Many older people grew up in a time when butter and oil were not seen as health problems, and old cooking habits are hard to break. But cooking eggs in too much saturated fat can change a somewhat healthy food into a danger for your heart and blood vessels. When you cook eggs in butter, especially a lot of it, you are adding a large amount of saturated fat and cholesterol to your meal. For older people who already have high cholesterol or heart problems, this mix can be very harmful. One large egg has about 186 milligrams of cholesterol. All of it is in the yolk. When you add 2 tablespoons of butter to cook that egg, you are adding another 31 milligrams of cholesterol and 7 grams of saturated fat. The American Heart Association suggests limiting saturated fat to about 13 grams per day for someone eating 2,000 calories. That buttery scrambled egg breakfast could use up more than half your daily limit before you even add toast or bacon. Better choices? Use a pan that food won't stick to, with just a light spray of cooking oil. Or try cooking eggs in a small amount of olive oil, which has good for the heart fats. You can also poach or boil eggs, which need no added fat at all. If you love the taste of butter, use it as a final touch in a much smaller amount, instead of cooking the eggs directly in it. Mistake number 4, eating too many eggs per week. Here it is. Mistake number 4, the one that science research has directly connected to more than doubling your heart disease risk. For many years, the advice about eating eggs has gone back and forth, leaving many older people unsure about how many eggs are truly safe to eat. New, big studies have given us worrying information. Research published in the Journal of the American Medical Association studied over 29,000 adults for an average of 17 years and found that every extra half egg eaten per day was linked to a 6% higher risk of heart problems and an 8% higher risk of death from any cause. Another study from 2021 looked at data from over 500,000 adults and found that eating more than one egg per day was linked to a much higher risk of heart disease and stroke, especially in people over 65. The researchers found that people who ate one or more eggs daily had more than double the risk compared to those who ate eggs less often. The problem focuses on cholesterol and a chemical called TMAO. When you eat eggs, tiny living things, bacteria, in your stomach change a nutrient called choline, which is plentiful in egg yolks, into trimethylamine oxide, or TMAO. High TMAO levels have been strongly connected to a greater risk of heart attack, stroke, and death from heart-related causes. For older people who already have risks like high blood pressure, diabetes, or a history of heart trouble, eating many eggs daily can be particularly dangerous. The cholesterol in eggs can help cause blockage buildup in blood vessels that are already getting narrow due to age. So what is the safe number? Most heart doctors now suggest that older people limit egg consumption to no more than 3 to 4 whole eggs per week. If you want eggs more often, think about using egg whites, which have no cholesterol and are pure protein.
2 egg whites can take the place of 1 whole egg in most recipes. Mistake number 3, not thinking about medicine problems. Mistake number 3 is one that almost no one talks about, but it could be affecting millions of older people right now. Some medicines often given to older adults can react with things in eggs, making the medicine work less well or causing more bad side effects. Let's first talk about statins. These are drugs that lower bad cholesterol and are some of the most common medicines for seniors. If you are taking a statin and you regularly eat eggs high in cholesterol, you are basically working against your medicine. While the cholesterol in the eggs you eat does not affect the cholesterol in your blood as much as people once thought, it still has an effect, especially when mixed with other high cholesterol foods. Blood thinners are another worry. Egg yolks have vitamin K, which helps blood clot. If you are taking warfarin or Coumadin, suddenly eating more or fewer eggs can change how well your medicine works. Keeping things the same is important. You should eat roughly the same amount of foods that have vitamin K, including eggs, every week. There is also a reaction many seniors don't know about with certain infection-fighting drugs, antibiotics. Eggs are high in calcium, and calcium can stop your body from taking in some antibiotics. If you are taking these medicines, you should avoid eggs for at least 2 hours before and after you take your dose. The solution? Always talk about your diet with your doctor when you get a new medicine. Ask clearly if eggs or other high-fat, high-protein foods might react with your prescriptions. Keep a food journal if you are on blood thinners so you can keep your vitamin K intake steady. Mistake number 2, mixing eggs with other high-risk foods. We are at mistake number 2, and this is where many seniors accidentally create a perfect storm of health dangers. It's not just about the eggs themselves, it's about what you are eating with them. The typical American breakfast is a disaster for an older person's heart health. Eggs, bacon or sausage, buttered toast, and hash browns. This mix gives your body a massive dose of saturated fat, cholesterol, salt, and processed carbs all at once. For an older person with existing heart disease or diabetes, this kind of meal can cause sudden heart problems. Let me break down the numbers. 2 eggs with 2 strips of bacon, buttered toast, and a serving of hash browns can contain over 800 milligrams of cholesterol, 30 grams of saturated fat, and 1,500 milligrams of salt or salt. That is more cholesterol than you should eat in 3 days, more than twice your daily saturated fat limit, and 2/3 of your daily salt limit, all in one meal.
The salt is especially worrying for seniors. Too much salt raises blood pressure, and older people are already at a higher risk for high blood pressure. When you combine high cholesterol from eggs with high salt from processed meats and high saturated fat from butter, you are causing swelling in your blood vessels that can lead to heart attacks and strokes. Processed meats like bacon and sausage contain chemicals that have been called likely causes of cancer. Eating them often has been linked to a greater risk of colon cancer, which older people are already more likely to get. The fix needs you to change your whole breakfast plate. If you are eating eggs, pair them with vegetables like spinach, tomatoes, or peppers. Choose whole grain toast without butter, or even better, have fresh fruit on the side. Replace bacon with a small amount of avocado for healthy fats, or try smoked fish for good omega-3 fats that actually protect your heart. Mistake number 1. Believing eggs alone are enough protein. And now, the number 1 mistake older people make with eggs. And this one is so common that it is hurting the health and long life of millions of seniors right now. Many older people believe that because eggs are high in protein, eating them every day gives them all the protein they need. This wrong idea leads to a diet that does not change and misses important nutrients that eggs simply cannot give. Here is the truth. While eggs are a good source of protein, with about 6 grams per large egg, relying mainly on eggs for your protein causes several problems. First, it exposes you too much to the cholesterol and possible risks we have talked about. Second, and maybe more key, it stops you from getting the many different nutrients found in other protein foods. Image comparing protein sources: fish, legumes, eggs. Different protein sources offer different building blocks, vitamins, and minerals. Fish gives you omega-3 fats that fight swelling and protect the brain. Beans, legumes, offer fiber that eggs completely lack. Nuts and seeds provide vitamin E and healthy fats. Lean chicken offers B vitamins in different amounts than eggs. When you eat eggs as your main protein source, you lose out on all these benefits. There is also new research about how important it is to spread protein out over the day for seniors. Muscle loss, called sarcopenia, speeds up after age 60. To keep muscle mass, seniors need about 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein at each meal, not just breakfast. If you are counting on 2 eggs for breakfast, you are only getting about 12 grams of protein, which is not enough to best build muscle protein. The bigger idea is this. Seniors need about 1 to 1.2 grams of protein for every kilogram of body weight daily, which is more than younger adults. For a 150-pound senior, that's roughly 68 to 82 grams of protein per day. If you tried to get all that from eggs alone, you would need to eat 11 to 14 eggs daily, which would be a disaster for your cholesterol and heart health.
The solution is different proteins. Include eggs as one protein source in your weekly food plan, but also eat fish twice a week. Have beans several times. Include lean poultry. Try Greek yogurt, and add nuts and seeds. This way of eating gives you complete nutrition while making the risks from eating too many eggs very small. So there you have it, the 10 egg mistakes that could be putting your health at risk, listed from worrying to possibly life-ending. Let's quickly remember the most important ones. Stop eating eggs with liquid yolks. The germ risk is not worth it. Limit yourself to 3 to 4 whole eggs per week maximum, especially if you have heart disease risks. Never leave cooked eggs at room temperature for more than 2 hours. And most importantly, don't rely on eggs as your only protein source. Variety is vital for healthy aging. Remember Robert from the start of this video? After his heart attack, his doctors gave him a strict food plan. He did not give up eggs completely, but he cut back to 3 eggs per week, always fully cooked, and mixed with vegetables instead of bacon. He used many different protein foods and focused on foods that are good for the heart. 2 years later, his cholesterol is stable, and he is healthier than he has been in decades. You have the power to make these same changes starting today. Your future self will thank you for the choices you make right now. If you found this information helpful, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more health tips made just for older people. And here is my question for you. Which of these mistakes were you making? Let me know in the comments below.